In the mystical land of ancient Greece, under the watchful eyes of the gods, a child was born who would grow to become one of the most recognized heroes of all time. This child, destined for greatness, was Hercules, the son of Zeus, the mighty king of the gods, and Alcmene, a mortal woman of incredible beauty and virtue. From his earliest days, Hercules' life was intertwined with the divine forces of Olympus, for he was born with the blood of the gods flowing through his veins. His birth was no ordinary event. It was a moment imbued with both promise and peril, foretelling a future entwined with legendary feats. Yet, even in infancy, Hercules faced his first trial. The goddess Hera, wife of Zeus, was beset with jealousy and resentment, viewing Hercules as a painful reminder of her husband's infidelity. Her fury was fueled by prophecies that foretold the child's monumental impact on mortals and immortals alike. To rid herself of this threat, she concocted a sinister plan. Under the soft, calming breezes of a spring night, she sent two serpents slithering stealthily into the nursery to extinguish the life of the young hero before it could reach its potential. In this moment of danger, Hercules displayed his extraordinary nature. When the serpents coiled around him, he instinctively reached with his small, yet incredibly powerful hands, and grasped the serpents tightly. With an unparalleled strength, unfathomable for a mere mortal infant, he squeezed the life from the deadly creatures, ensuring they posed no threat. As his victorious cries echoed through the nursery, Alcmene and the attendants rushed to his side, finding Hercules unharmed, holding the lifeless serpents as if they were simple playthings. The tale of this miraculous event spread swiftly, becoming a testament to Hercules' nascent strength and a harbinger of his future greatness. It served as a beacon, a sign that Hercules was set apart, destined for far more than the ordinary mortal life. As he matured, the need for guidance in fulfilling his extraordinary destiny became apparent. To achieve clarity, Hercules turned to the esteemed oracle at Delphi, a custodian of divine wisdom. The oracle clarified what Hera feared. Hercules' path was laden with monumental challenges, and only through enduring these trials could he achieve redemption and immortality. Moved by the oracle's words, Hercules sought further counsel, visiting Delphi's sacred site to delve deeper into his fate. As he approached the legendary oracle, he was struck by the solemnity and gravity of his situation. He learned that to fulfill his destiny, he must serve King Eurystheus of Tiryns, who would assign him a sequence of daunting tasks known as the 12 Labors. These were not mere quests for glory. They represented Hercules' journey of redemption, a bridge connecting his divine parentage with his mortal duties. Upon receiving this counsel, Hercules embarked on a reflective journey back to his homeland. He grappled with the weight of his fate, knowing that each labor was a step towards earning forgiveness and peace within. With a resolve forged in the fires of necessity, Hercules accepted his path, understanding his trials were not merely punishment, but opportunities for growth and ascension. This newfound understanding filled him with a calm yet determined spirit. Arriving in Tiryns, Hercules encountered King Eurystheus, a ruler whose perception was warped by fear and insecurity. Keenly aware of Hercules' divine prowess and potential, Eurystheus viewed him as a threat rather than an ally. He approached Hercules' service with a mindset to eliminate this perceived threat, concealing his intentions beneath the guise of noble quests. During their meeting, Eurystheus wasted no time in assigning Hercules his first labor, eager to put the hero to the test. The subtle tension that hung in the air between them signified the start of Hercules' monumental journey. In quiet contemplation, Hercules reflected on the prophecy that had set him on this path. Each labor, though fraught with danger, held profound significance. They were not merely tasks, but pathways to achieving inner peace and proving his worth both to himself and to the unyielding eyes of Olympus. As he pondered the road ahead, a serene resolve enveloped him, mirroring the tranquil nights of his early childhood, when destiny had first whispered its promises to him. In the shadow of Hera's enduring enmity, Hercules embraced his future with a spirit filled with courage and hope. He had come to understand that true strength came not solely from physical prowess, but from the adversities faced and conquered. This realization rendered him unassailable, not merely in flesh but within his very soul. And thus began the epic adventures of Hercules, a story woven into the tapestry of myth and heralded for generations, with the first labor awaiting as a testament to the hero's storied quest. Hercules embarked on his first labor, journeying from the fortress city of Tiryns to the wilds of Nemea. His task, set by King Eurystheus, was to slay the fearsome Nemean Lion, a creature whose name struck terror into the hearts of those dwelling in its vicinity. As Hercules navigated the ancient pathways of Greece, tales of the lion's invulnerability reached him, with villagers describing it as a beast of legend, draped in a hide impenetrable to the sharpest of weapons. But Hercules, blessed with a divine strength and imbued with unwavering courage, remained resolute, his steps steady along the winding trails. Upon arriving in the village near Nemea, Hercules was met with a mix of apprehension and admiration from the townsfolk. They spoke of countless attempts to vanquish the lion, all in vain, reminding him of the beast's unmatched ferocity and cunning. Their eyes, though heavy with fear, glinted with a semblance of hope that this lone warrior, a man of exceptional might, could deliver them from their torment. Hercules acknowledged their concerns with empathy, yet firmly resolved to confront the creature that haunted these lands. Venturing into the dense thickets of the Nemean forest, Hercules was acutely aware of the heaviness in the air, the trepidation that hung in the spaces between the trees. Each step was measured, his senses attuned to the unusual silences and sudden rustles, nature's symphony that danced around the dread quietude of the lurking predator. Thoughts wandered amidst the shadows. This labor was but the first on his path to redemption, a necessary challenge to earn his place among the immortals. As the sun began to sink, casting its warm golden hues across the forest, the Nemean Lion emerged amidst the shadows. There it stood, regal and terrifying, its golden mane catching the dying light like smoldering embers. With a thunderous roar that seemed to echo through the ages, the lion charged forward, its powerful form a testament to its mythic status. Unflinching, Hercules braced for impact, his heart serene and his grip firm on the club he carried as his weapon. The ensuing battle was a testament to Hercules' resilience, as he confronted the lion's relentless attacks. His initial strikes proved useless against the beast's impervious coat. The hide repelled each blow with disdain. Recognizing the futility of conventional arms, Hercules set aside his club, relying instead on his unparalleled physical prowess. Here, at the entrance of the lion's lair, the hero faced a truth. Conquest demanded the raw exertion of sheer indomitable force. It was here that Hercules resolved to wrestle the creature, a dance of sinew and might, beneath the gathering dusk. Grapples and tumbles clouded the entrance to the den, with dust swirling around the combatants entwined in a battle of epic proportions. Drawing upon the strengths bestowed by his father, Zeus, Hercules entwined his limbs around the beast, every muscle straining with the magnitude of his undertaking. Slowly but inexorably, Hercules bound the lion in his titan's clasp, tightening until the proud beast's struggles ebbed away. The very essence of his resolve, imprinted with every sinewy exertion, Hercules watched as the lion succumbed, its spirit yielding beneath the relentless grip of the hero's enduring will. As the weight of victory settled upon him, Hercules felt both triumph and a somber humility. The first of his ordained labors concluded, he realized his journey was only just beginning, a journey shadowed by divine scrutiny. With the beast subdued, Hercules skinned the lion's awe-inspiring pelt, knowing it would serve as more than just armor, but as a tangible testament to his legendary strength and courage. Returning to King Eurystheus, Hercules presented the lion's skin. The king, astounded at this proof of Herculean power, regarded the accomplishment with reverence. Here was a tale to be whispered through generations, a tale of valor, resilience, and a hero's first step into eternal remembrance. With the lion's pelt now a cloak of protection and legacy, Hercules set his gaze toward the horizon. The gentle murmurs of the night seemed to echo the faint promise of future trials, a steady reminder of his path ahead. As the tranquil darkness unfolded, Hercules prepared for the labors that awaited, marching onward with the lion's mantle draped over his shoulders as a symbol of his burgeoning legend. Having proved his courage by vanquishing the Nemean Lion, Hercules turned his attention to the next soul-testing task that would deepen his pursuit of redemption. His resolve was as unyielding as the mountains, propelling him southward toward the enigmatic terrain surrounding Lake Lerna. This region, its eerie quiet and mist-laden vistas standing as somber sentinels, guarded an adversary unlike any other, the many-headed Hydra. Hera herself had placed this formidable creature here as a daunting barrier to Hercules' ascension. On his arrival at the swamp, a sense of foreboding hung in the air, the mist swirling like veils of uncertainty around him and his loyal nephew Iolaus. Their journey through the marshes was measured, each step sinking softly into the spongy earth. As they pressed onward, an unsettling silence enveloped them near the Hydra's lair, as though the world held its breath. Suddenly, the murky waters rumbled, and with a rush akin to the sucking reeds, the Hydra emerged. This monstrous beast, with its multitude of serpentine heads, loomed large, an embodiment of chaos and fury. Undeterred, Hercules faced the Hydra, swinging his immense club with the force of the gods. He struck, severing one of the Hydra's heads, but to his dismay, two more sprouted in its place, their venomous tongues mocking his mighty efforts. In that precarious moment, Hercules recalled the wisdom shared by those more experienced. The secret lay in using fire. Summoning Iolaus, Hercules outlined his plan. With alacrity, Iolaus ignited a torch, its flames dancing wildly in the humid air. As Hercules cleaved each head, Iolaus cauterized the raw stumps with precision, halting the beast's regenerative power. Thus, they formed a strategic alliance, their actions synchronized in a seamless harmony that gradually turned the tide against the Hydra. Yet, Hera's meddling was not easily thwarted. Watching with displeasure from her divine realms, she released another obstacle to thwart Hercules. A giant crab emerged from the swamp, its claws raised menacingly, poised to distract and harm. Hercules, however, was unfazed. With a decisive stomp, he crushed the crab underfoot, leaving the field clear once more for the true battle at hand. The struggle with the Hydra raged on, and the balance of fate hung precariously. However, through Herculean perseverance and astute strategy, the monster was brought under control. As only the central, allegedly immortal head remained, Hercules focused his formidable strength, striking with immense power. The beast lay subdued, the swamps exhaling a collective sigh of relief at the monster's defeat, scattering the oppressive shadow that had long cloaked the land. In victory, Hercules dipped his arrows into the Hydra's blood, rendering them a potent new weapon, imbued with a deadly poison that would serve him in subsequent trials. This solemn act, while fortifying Hercules' arsenal, also served as a reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. As dawn broke over the Lernaean swamp, splashing the landscape in hues of dusky reds and fiery golds, Hercules felt Hera's omnipresent watch, ever the reminder of the ongoing divine scrutiny he faced. Yet bathed in this new light, he sensed Athena's silent, assuring presence, boosting his resolve. The journey back from Lerna was quiet but serene, a contrast to the tumult that had preceded it. As Hercules and Iolaus walked in reflective silence, Hercules contemplated the lessons of this labor. The providence of fire, the wisdom of strategy, and the invaluable nature of companionship proved vital to conquering the Hydra, knowledge to be heeded in the trials to come. Returning to King Eurystheus to report his triumph, Hercules carried not only a record of success, but also a tempered humility that arose from hard-won achievements and a keener awareness of the divine influences weaving through his path. With the tale of his victory spreading, Hercules knew the lion's pelt would continue to symbolize his might in forthcoming endeavors. Nonetheless, the echoes of Hera's challenges also resonated, though tempered by the knowledge of Athena's quiet guardianship. This victory, though significant, was but another step in Hercules' storied journey towards redemption and the divine legacy that awaited him. As he gazed out into the morning light, the feeling of another battle conquered tempered the anticipation of what lay ahead, a reminder of both his mortal boundaries and immortal aspirations. With valor renewed and resolve steeled, Hercules readied himself for the next labor resting on his horizon like a new dawn. As dawn painted the sky in hues of soft amber and golden light, Hercules found himself ready for another labor, a task assigned by King Eurystheus, aligned with the will of Hera. This time, he was to embark on an arduous journey after the elusive Ceryneian Hind, a creature of divine beauty with golden antlers and bronze hooves, sacred to the goddess Artemis. Renowned for its incredible speed and agility, capturing the hind was no simple feat. It would test Hercules' endurance, patience, and respect for nature itself. Hercules' journey began in the lush woodlands of Greece, a land that whispered stories of gods and heroes. In these early days, he traveled through winding valleys and rugged hillsides, meticulously following the faint signs left by the graceful hind. This task wasn't about brute strength but quiet perseverance, a test of Hercules' ability to blend patience and determination, which was challenging for a hero accustomed to overcoming physical obstacles. He often caught glimpses of the hind's radiant form disappearing into the verdant expanse, each sighting fueling his resolve. During his pursuit, Hercules encountered various figures who added richness to this quest. In small villages nestled within forests, he spoke with wise elders who shared tales of the hind, its mysterious allure, and its sacred status under Artemis' protection. These interactions deepened Hercules' understanding of his task, reminding him that this was a quest not just for a creature, but an emblem of divine grace. As weeks turned into months, the chase took him across Greece's diverse landscapes. He traversed rivers as clear as crystal, forded through dense forests that enveloped him in emerald shadows, and ascended snow-capped mountains that brushed the heavens. The hind moved ethereally through these realms, gliding with an ease that renewed Hercules' determination daily. This pursuit was less a chase of conquest and more a journey of learning to appreciate the strength of restraint over raw power. One tranquil morning, as the forest echoed with whispers of a gentle breeze, Hercules finally caught sight of the hind, peacefully grazing in a sunlit clearing. This vision was both magnificent and serene, the golden hind standing amidst lush greenery, bathed in a gentle, timeless light. Hercules knew this moment presented an opportunity. With a heart full of respect, he decided cunning would serve him better than force. Moving with deliberate care, he crept closer, finely attuned to the forest's sounds. Using his deep understanding of nature, Hercules devised a trap that would ensure the hind came to no harm. Slowly, he laid the snare, embodying patience and reverence. When the snare gently closed, the hind halted, its eyes wide and embodying a purity of grace. Approaching with deference, Hercules admired this divine beast, aware that his victory lay in his respectful approach. As Hercules savored his success, the celestial presence of Artemis graced the forest, her gaze both powerful and serene. She inquired about Hercules' intentions, aware of the hind's sanctity under her guardianship. Hercules responded with honesty and humility, explaining his task and the necessity of fulfilling his divine obligations. His sincerity honored the hunt's sanctity and acknowledged the larger divine order. Artemis, observing this sincerity and respect, acknowledged the greater design at play. Recognizing Hercules' duty, she allowed him to proceed, reflecting his virtues were aligned with the divine path. At this moment, Hercules felt a connection to the divine realms, a bond forged on reverence and understanding that strength required the guidance of wisdom. With Artemis's blessing, Hercules carried the Ceryneian Hind back to King Eurystheus. The hind, unharmed and calm, became a testament to Hercules' growth, not only as a hero of legendary strength, but as a man capable of tenderness and mindfulness. This labor, unlike previous battles, taught Hercules the value in patience and respect. Upon delivering the hind to Eurystheus, Hercules reflected on what he had learned. The hind's journey illustrated the power of respecting sacred things, and that sometimes gentleness achieved what raw power could not. Each completed labor was another step toward redemption and the ultimate peace he sought in immortality. As he prepared for the challenges ahead, he understood each task crafted him into a hero worthy of destiny's embrace, with respect and wisdom guiding him through the trials yet to come. Hercules, steadfast in his journey toward redemption, had now heard unsettling tales of another daunting beast lurking within ancient Greece. The Erymanthian Boar, notorious for its ferocity, was said to dwell amidst the snowy expanses of Mount Erymanthos. Unlike any common wild pig, this colossal creature was famed for its destruction, spreading fear far and wide among the neighboring villagers. For Hercules, subduing this mighty creature was not only a necessity to satisfy the demands of King Eurystheus, but also a critical step in his monumental quest for inner peace. As he set out for Mount Erymanthos, the air grew cold and the paths less trodden, delving into the very depths of winter's chill. Arriving at the villages nestled under the enigmatic mountain, he encountered the villagers, their lives disrupted and overshadowed by the boar's menace. They spoke with trepidation of the beast's rampages, their farms devastated, and homes left in disarray, whispering of its tusks, cut sharp by nature itself, and a temperament as wild as the fiercest tempest. Their voices, filled with tales of ruin and despair, stirred in Hercules a renewed determination to rid the land of this terror. Hercules understood that brute strength alone would not suffice in this confrontation. The harsh winter provided an advantage, and with astute calculation, he crafted a plan to exploit the mountainous snowdrifts, aiming to trap the boar where the deep snow could restrict its movements. His resolve firm, Hercules began his ascent, navigating the frigid slopes with care and focus, his path marked by icy winds and treacherous terrain. Each step was a testament to his enduring commitment, driven by the cries of the villagers echoing in his mind. Ascending Mount Erymanthos was no simple task. The cold bit against Hercules' skin, each gust of wind a challenge in itself, yet he remained undeterred. As he advanced, the landscape transformed into a world of white silence, the mountain's heights shrouded in mystery. It was here that Hercules finally caught sight of his quarry, the formidable boar, its presence as commanding as the tales had foretold, thrashing through the snow with a ferocious vitality. Understanding the moment demanded both strength and cunning, Hercules began to systematically guide the boar towards deeper snowbanks. The beast charged with vigor, yet Hercules was ready, his actions guided by both instinct and stratagem. He moved with purpose, navigating the snowy field with precision, each maneuver calculated to wear down the beast as it struggled through the thickening drifts. The once indomitable creature began to slow, its movements mired by the weight of the snow that clung to its massive form. With the advantage now his, Hercules capitalized on the boar's diminishing energy. His hands, skilled and mighty, subdued the beast with a grip both firm and gentle, ensuring harm would not befall it. The struggle was fierce and unyielding, but Hercules' resolve was steadfast, and soon the fearsome boar lay within his control, its fury quelled within the confines of his strength. Triumphant, Hercules commenced his descent, guiding the subdued boar back to the waiting world below. The journey was marked not only by the physical triumph, but by a sense of moral victory as well. The villagers greeted him with a mixture of relief and awe, their fears finally cast aside as the source of their dread was tamed and contained. Bearing the boar to King Eurystheus, Hercules fulfilled another of the labors that defined his path. The king, while marveling at the hero's notable exploits, also faced a growing trepidation at the prowess Hercules displayed. Each completed task seemed to elevate Hercules further along his journey for redemption, each step a whisper of his potential and power. Satisfied yet aware of what still lay before him, Hercules left the court, the chill mountain winds a fading memory. There remained many tasks to conquer, yet each successful labor brought Hercules closer to his legend. The whispers of the past echoed as an oath to the future. His path had yet many trials ahead. As he departed Mount Erymanthos, his heart was resolute, carrying the serene weight of another victory. A gentle wind caressed the snow-laden peaks, steering Hercules forward into another challenge awaiting his might and ingenuity. The horizon beckoned as the legend of Hercules continued to unfold, step by step towards his fateful ascension. As the sun ascended high into the golden sky of summer, Hercules approached the stables of King Augean. Notorious throughout ancient Greece, these stables housed immense herds of cattle, and yet their filth had been left unaddressed for years, creating a staggering challenge. Hercules was tasked with their cleansing, an endeavor that many claimed was impossible due to the sheer volume of the accumulated waste and the vast expanse of the grounds. Upon his arrival, King Augean met Hercules with skepticism etched on his face. The task, Augean believed, was so monumental that it could hardly be achieved in a lifetime, let alone within a single day. Nonetheless, Hercules, filled with unwavering determination, boldly proposed to clean the stables within that seemingly impossible time frame. Augean, intrigued yet unconvinced by the promise, offered Hercules a reward should he succeed, a reward he felt confident would never need giving. Surveying the task before him, Hercules took in the enormity of his labor. The air was heavy with the stench of long neglect as he walked among the endless rows of cattle pens. Conventional methods of cleaning, he realized, would prove futile, and in that moment, he began to devise a solution, relying not on manpower, but rather on the forces of nature themselves. Harnessing the power of his agile mind, Hercules formulated a plan. He would divert the courses of two mighty rivers, the Alpheus and the Peneus, to flow through the stable grounds. This natural cleansing force would sweep the years of accumulated filth away in a swift and effective current. The plan was as audacious as it was ingenious, capturing the elegant simplicity that marked Hercules' extraordinary problem-solving abilities. With determination, Hercules set to work. His remarkable strength, a gift from the gods, enabled him to move massive stones and shift earth, carving a new path for the rivers to flow. In this labor, both might and mental acuity blended seamlessly, as Hercules worked tirelessly to guide the rivers into their new course. What was once a natural lifeline for the land now became a mighty force of purification. As the sun reached its zenith, the rivers commenced their transformative journey through the stables. The water rushed with deliberate power, washing away the filth and debris that had long plagued the land. In mere hours, What once was squalor transformed into cleanliness, a visible testament to Hercules' brilliance and nature's might. However, once the triumph was complete, Hercules returned to Augeas, ready to claim his promised reward. Yet Augeas, witnessing the completed task he deemed impossible, drew back from his promise. He claimed that Hercules had employed trickery by utilizing nature's power rather than sheer manual labor, a claim that betrayed the agreement's spirit. Hercules stood, momentarily taken aback, contemplating the king's refusal. Though disappointed, he quickly regained his composure. This challenge, he reflected, was another lesson on his journey, a reminder of human unpredictability and the ever-present necessity for inner resilience. Bereft of the promised reward, his eyes remained fixed on the broader horizon of redemption and the immortality that beckoned. As Hercules departed from the land of Augeas, the sense of loss over the unfulfilled reward was replaced by a deeper understanding. Each labor completed was a step closer to his own healing and a piece of his growing legend. This trial had taught him yet another truth about the world's nature and the hearts of men, a lesson indispensable for the hero seeking absolution. He moved onward, feeling the call of the next labor, buoyed by the knowledge that each task enriched him in unexpected ways. As he journeyed past the now pristine fields, Hercules embraced his growing legacy, assured that his ingenuity and fortitude would be his guiding allies. The journey continued, new challenges on the horizon, as Hercules pressed forward with an unyielding spirit and a heart ever open to the lessons yet to unfold. In the tranquil yet vast landscapes of ancient Greece, Hercules prepared for his next labor, subduing the notorious Stymphalian birds. These vicious creatures nested near Lake Stymphalia, wreaking havoc across the lands of Arcadia. Their iron feathers rained destruction upon crops, livestock, and villagers, casting a shadow of dread over the otherwise idyllic countryside. Upon his arrival at Lake Stymphalia, Hercules was greeted by villagers who shared tales of terror endured under the birds' reign. Stories of crops raised and children confined indoors were common, as the threat loomed constantly over their lives. Yet, Hercules, accustomed to such challenges, remained undeterred. His journey, marked by tests of strength and will, equipped him to face this new trial with a blend of courage and cunning. With a determination rooted in patience and purpose, Hercules approached the marshes. The dense foliage seemed almost alive, hiding the menacing creatures within. Hercules, knowing that brute force alone wouldn't suffice, devised a strategic plan that utilized his wits as much as his strength. In his possession were bronze castanets, a gift from Athena, not mere instruments of music but of tactical advantage. Even the most formidable foes had their vulnerabilities, a lesson Hercules had learned well in his preceding labors. Standing at the edge of the marsh, the autumn wind whispering through the reeds, Hercules clanged the castanets together. The sharp metallic noise shattered the tranquil air, evoking a surge of panic among the birds. Startled, they rose into the sky in a cacophonous cloud, their screeches echoing like a brewing storm. With the birds now exposed and in disarray, Hercules took up his bow and arrows. His aim, refined through countless trials, was unerring. Each arrow, loosed with precision, struck the birds from the sky. The once lurking menace was gradually diminished as arrows flew, and the sky cleared, each shot a testament to Hercules' necessity and resolve. The chaos waned, and soon the balance was restored. Where the birds had once brought ruin, calm descended upon the marshlands, leaving the surviving birds to flee far from Arcadia, never to return. Relief spread across the land, a palpable wave that washed over the villagers as they emerged from their shelters with expressions filled with awe and gratitude. Hercules was a savior to them, a figure of resilience and wisdom. The villagers celebrated Hercules' success. The tale of his victory was told and retold, illustrating not only his strength but his strategic mind. Yet amidst the joy, Hercules found no room for triumphalism. This labor, like the ones before, was but another step in his quest for redemption, a path toward shedding his haunted past and earning his place among the stars. Following the celebration, Hercules found a moment of introspection. As the villagers praised him, he pondered the lessons learned. This victory was not just against the birds, but a triumph over the burden of his own redemption journey. Each labor completed was a step closer to the peace he sought, and each challenge a reflection of the formidable spirit within. Hercules gathered his gear and set his thoughts toward the forthcoming labors. Arcadia, now free of the avian scourge, was one less burden on his journey. But the path ahead remained formidable, for his destiny still unfurled before him, with trials demanding not only strength, but insight and heart. As he turned from the now serene shores of Lake Stymphalia, Hercules prepared for the next challenge. His mind drifted to the island of Crete, where the mighty Cretan Bull roamed. Like the birds, the bull would demand a unique blend of might and cleverness. With the renewed resolve of a hero shaping his legendary saga, Hercules set forth, each step echoing the tale of courage and redemption etched in eternity. As dawn's early light began to illuminate the horizon, Hercules stood aboard a sturdy ship, gazing at the calm seas stretching out before him. His destination was Crete, an island rich in mythological lore, currently beset by a fearsome creature, a wild bull. This unruly beast, born from Poseidon's sea foam and originally gifted to King Minos of Crete, had been meant for a sacrificial offering. Yet enchanted by its majestic beauty, Minos defied the gods by keeping the bull, incurring Poseidon's ire. The god's curse transformed the creature into a terror for the land. Hercules, ever dedicated to his quest, was tasked with subduing this formidable creature as one of his legendary labors. Upon reaching Crete, Hercules made his way to the palace, where King Minos awaited him with a weighty disposition. The king, seated on a throne adorned with elaborate carvings, recounted the havoc wrought by the bull through the countryside. Its eyes gleaming with untamed energy, the creature had trampled fields and unsettled villages, leaving the people in fear. As Minos spoke, Hercules listened intently, his mind working through potential strategies to confront such unruliness. His past trials had taught him that mere physical might would not suffice. He needed to approach this challenge with a blend of strength and cunning. Determined to accomplish his task, Hercules ventured across the island in search of the bull. He traversed Crete's rugged terrain, moving through valleys and climbing hills, ever watchful for signs of the creature. The island, vibrant in spring's blossoming hues, provided both backdrop and battleground for the encounter. As the sun climbed higher, casting a luminous gold across the landscape, Hercules finally glimpsed the bull grazing near the shoreline. The bull, its coat glistening like polished ivory, stood as a spectacle of raw, untamed power. Hercules, recognizing the beast's majestic yet chaotic nature, understood that subduing it required an interplay of strength and skill. As the creature caught scent of him, raising its head in challenge, Hercules approached with the caution of one well-versed in both battle and finesse. The bull charged, hooves pounding the earth, its breath mingling with the sea breeze as it bore down upon him like a storm. Hercules held his ground, his resolve as solid as the rocks beneath his feet. Timing his movements with precise calculation, he lunged to meet the charging beast, deploying his extraordinary strength to grapple and guide it. The struggle unfolded beneath the open sky, the bull's wild energy clashing with Hercules' disciplined might. Bit by bit, the beast's resistance dwindled, subdued under Hercules' masterful grip, his unyielding will restoring order from chaos. With the bull finally tamed, Hercules prepared to lead it back to Tiryns, where King Eurystheus awaited confirmation of his deed. The journey was a steady one, the once wild bull now docile at Hercules' command. They traveled along Crete's serene coast, where the calm waters mirrored the quiet triumph of the hero's victory. This task had not only demonstrated his physical prowess, but deepened his understanding of strength as integrated with wisdom, a key to mastering chaos. Arriving at the court of King Eurystheus, Hercules and the bull stood as a testament to the hero's unwavering resolve to confront and master formidable challenges. Yet Eurystheus, moved more by fear than admiration of the creature, hastily ordered the bull's release. The majestic beast was set free to roam the plains of Marathon, becoming a living monument to the hero's conquest. With this labor concluded, Hercules took a moment for quiet reflection. Watching the bull as it journeyed beyond familiar sights, he contemplated the lessons learned along the way, not merely of strength, but of balance and mastery over chaos. Each trial differed greatly in its demand, yet cumulatively formed the expanding tapestry of his epic journey. While this trial had drawn to a close, wisdom called from the labors still ahead. As twilight gracefully surrendered to night, Hercules readied himself for his next adventure, bound for Thrace and the notorious mares that awaited his intervention. With each labor teaching new lessons, he wandered closer towards his ultimate goal: redemption, intertwined with a quest for immortality through acts of courage and heart. Departing from Crete after subduing the unruly Cretan Bull, Hercules embarked on a new journey towards Thrace. His spirit was invigorated with purpose, as he knew the forthcoming labor involved an act of compassion as pivotal as courage. Word had spread far and wide about the mares of King Diomedes, notorious for their unnatural appetite for human flesh. As he ventured north through Greece, Hercules was resolved to bring tranquility to the troubled region. The journey across the seas was tranquil, a calm veneer masking the formidable task that lay ahead. Hercules' thoughts often turned to Diomedes' mares and their plight. The tales of their ferocity were unsettling, not because of their nature, but due to the cruelty that had nurtured such behavior. Upon arriving in Thrace, he immediately perceived the palpable fear among the people. The Thracians, in hushed yet frantic tones, recounted their encounters with these savage beasts, steering clear of the paths where the mares roamed. Listening to their stories, Hercules understood the root of the problem. The mistreatment by King Diomedes had led to the mares' violent conduct. The creatures were a product of the tyrant's brutality. Hercules, known not only for his strength but his wisdom, knew that the solution rested in compassion rather than force. He reflected on his past labors and recognized the recurring theme of redemption, not only for himself, but for those he encountered. Hercules resolved to confront King Diomedes. As twilight descended upon the Thracian landscape, he approached the king's residence. He steeled himself for the confrontation, aware that it would not be strength alone that would win the day. Diomedes, confident in his authority, confronted Hercules with an air of defiance. A fierce battle ensued beneath the fading light. Herculean strength met with regal aggression, yet it was Hercules' strategic mind and unwavering resolve that turned the tide. With each passing moment, the struggle epitomized a clash between tyranny and justice. In the end, Diomedes fell, subdued not only by Hercules' might but by the hero's unshakable determination. With Diomedes defeated, Hercules' focus shifted to the mares themselves. A task lay ahead that required a different kind of bravery. As he approached the restless creatures, their eyes wild with residual terror, Hercules abandoned all notions of force. He moved with a gentle intent, speaking softly as he approached them. Understanding their torment, his gestures were slow and deliberate, offering solace rather than command. Gradually, his presence began to penetrate their fear. In him they sensed a warmth previously unknown, and piece by piece, the walls of their hostility began to crumble. Day by day, Hercules' patience and kindness wore away the stamps of their captivity. Under his guidance, the mares transformed, emerging from the shadows of tyranny into creatures of peace. It was not a simple feat of strength that achieved this, but the balm of empathy and understanding. Hercules led them gently away from their past, their hooves leaving behind the land once marked by fear. As Hercules led the mares along the serene banks of a reflective lake, the transformation shone brightly against the twilight sky. The Thracians gathered in awe, witnessing the newfound calm that had settled over the previously wild beasts. Their gratitude was palpable, and Hercules felt the satisfaction of a task well accomplished, his heart light with the knowledge that he had quelled chaos with kindness. Returning to the court of King Eurystheus with the mares in tow, Hercules displayed them as a testament to transformation through benevolence. The king, astonished by their placid demeanor, could barely reconcile the tales of the past with the serene creatures before him. Hercules, with a gentle smile, allowed King Eurystheus to take in the reality. Strength tempered by compassion had wrought this peaceful outcome. The conclusion of the labor in Thrace echoed through the lands, a harmonious testament to Hercules' path of redemption. Each task refined not only his physical prowess, but deepened his understanding of true power, compassionate and wise. Peace now reigned in Thrace, a land once dominated by fear. Contemplating his next challenge, Hercules prepared himself for what lay ahead with renewed determination. The twilight of Thrace slowly gave way to a sky thick with stars, each one a keeper of the Herculean legacy. As he set his sights on the following labor, another step towards absolution and divinity, his heart remained focused, knowing every stride he took brought him closer to the peace he sought within. Hercules embarked on his penultimate labor, the quest to retrieve the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides. These apples were no ordinary fruit. Gifts from Gaia, the Earth Mother, to Hera on her wedding day, they were held securely in a lush garden at the world's edge, tended by the Hesperides and guarded by the fearsome dragon Lernaean. Hercules knew this task would not only test his strength, but also his wit and patience. Setting forth, Hercules sought the location of the elusive garden. His path first crossed with the shape-shifting god Nereus, keeper of invaluable knowledge. Nereus, elusive in form, transformed into various creatures, attempting to evade Hercules. However, with unyielding strength and persistence, Hercules seized Nereus, maintaining his grip through every transformation. Resigned, Nereus divulged the direction of the garden, acknowledging Hercules' tenacity and determination. With Nereus's guidance, Hercules continued his journey, confronted by challenges that grew in complexity. En route, he encountered various creatures and heroes, each contributing to Hercules' growing wisdom. Yet, one of his most pivotal encounters was with Prometheus, the Titan condemned to eternal suffering for defying Zeus. Bound to a rock, Prometheus endured daily torment by an eagle. Moved by the Titan's plight, Hercules used his strength to free Prometheus, striking down the avian tormentor and shattering the chains that bound him. In gratitude, Prometheus offered sage advice. He urged Hercules to seek Atlas, who bore the celestial sphere upon his shoulders and could assist in acquiring the apples. Armed with this counsel, Hercules marched forward, his resolve fortified by the promise of Prometheus' wisdom. The transition from freeing Prometheus to seeking Atlas was seamless, the path guided by newly acquired insight that transformed the journey into an odyssey of learning. Upon reaching the imposing figure of Atlas, Hercules carefully broached the subject of the apples. Offering to temporarily bear the heavenly burden, Hercules requested Atlas retrieve the apples on his behalf. Atlas, worn by millennia of carrying the sky, agreed to the exchange, finding momentary relief in being free from his celestial duty. Hercules, now shouldering the vastness of the sky, remained steadfast, aware of both the weight and the symbolism it bore, his quest demanding an extraordinary sacrifice. Atlas strode into the garden of the Hesperides, easily plucking the golden apples within the enchanted realm, unchallenged by Ladon, due to his ancestral connections with the Hesperides. Yet, upon his return, Atlas, thrilled by liberation, showed reluctance to resume his cosmic task. He suggested that he himself deliver the apples to Eurystheus, leaving Hercules in a perpetual role with the heavens. However, Hercules, attuned to the shifting intentions of Atlas, employed a clever stratagem. Expressing a need to adjust his cloak for continued comfort beneath the sky, Hercules requested Atlas briefly reclaim the burden. With unsuspecting compliance, Atlas hefted the sky once more, inadvertently cementing Hercules' release. With deftness, Hercules seized the apples, securing the fruit of his labor and outwitting the Titan with grace and precision. Bearing the apples, Hercules embarked on his return journey to King Eurystheus, contemplating the nuanced nature of his penultimate labor. Reflecting on the blend of cleverness, collaboration, and strength that defined his success, Hercules recognized the interwoven tapestry of his life's trials. The golden apples were more than the mere completion of a task. They symbolized a harmonious balance between power and intelligence. Upon presenting the golden apples to Eurystheus, Hercules quietly celebrated the triumph. The quest for these magnificent fruits had instilled within him a profound sense of peace, a step closer to the immortality he sought not just through physical deeds, but through the subtler evolution of his character as well. He recognized the fulfillment of an inner need, to find tranquility and redemption on the path laid before him by fate. As he prepared for the final labor, Hercules turned his thoughts inward, reflecting on the essence of each challenge he had faced. Though daunting, every task had rewarded him with insights and personal growth, proving that accolades were minor in the grand scheme compared to the evolution occurring within his soul. With the final trial looming, Hercules felt the guiding warmth of Athena, his patron, illuminating his way forward, a beacon of divine favor toward the conclusion of his mortal journey.